my name is Kother. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. I am so excited to start a YouTube channel to share my PCOS journey with you all. I have opened up on Instagram that I did struggle a little bit with infertility when I was trying to get pregnant, and a lot of you have messaged me about it, and I thought, why not make a video? I'm not a doctor or any kind of medical professional. I am just simply here to share my journey. I'm going to be very vulnerable, very open about my experience because I think it's important to share that to help others. Because I know for me, when I was struggling with PCOS, specifically with infertility to get pregnant, I felt like being around people who also went through a similar journey helped me. I just want to start by sharing what PCOS is really briefly. PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is a hormonal imbalance that affects women. It's basically elevated male hormones in the body, and typical symptoms are irregular cycles, a cyst on your ovaries, weight gain, facial hair, and some women struggle also with infertility. I got my period when I was about 12 years old, and I was getting periods only twice a year. During this time, the doctor had suggested that to give it some time for my body to regulate on its own. So we did just that. And then when I was about 16 years old, I went in for a checkup, and my cycles were still irregular, only coming 1 to 2 times a year. And the doctor had suggested that I get on birth control. My parents declined, and so my cycles were pretty much this way all the way up until I was 19. I got into my first relationship at that time, and I didn't want to have kids, so I thought, why not just get on birth control? And so I did, and it started to regulate my cycles. I ended up getting out of that relationship when I was about 23, and I thought, I'm just gonna stay on the pill because it was very, very, very convenient. I knew exactly when my period was coming. It was super light. I was barely getting any cramps. It was just very convenient while going to school and work. Fast forward to my late 20s, I met Nadine's dad. I was about 29 years old when I decided to get off the pill. So at this point, I was on it for about 10 years. I couldn't get pregnant after a year, and so I went back to the doctor's office, and they suggested that I go to fertility specialists and do IVF, because if I'm not getting a period every month, which means I'm not ovulating, and so therefore it would be hard for me to conceive. I remember just looking into our insurance and thinking this is so expensive, and just seeing other women that have gone through IVF and how hard it is. I'm not judging anyone who has done it because I obviously considered it. It wasn't an option for me at the time, and I decided to just try to get pregnant naturally. And I started doing research and came across Beyond the Pill by Jolene Brighten, and this book was the beginning of my wellness journey. It opened my eyes to see hormones in a completely different way. I have implemented a lot of things that she mentioned in that book, and I slowly started to pay attention to what I was putting in my body, on my body, basically changing my entire lifestyle. And 3 months later, I got pregnant. It was the biggest shock of my life. My daughter is healthy, and I didn't have any complications, but it was still in the back of my mind, like, why am I not getting these periods? And so after I delivered my daughter, I went back in for a visit, and they decided to do hormone testing, and that's when I found out that I had PCOS, and I officially got diagnosed last year. But over the last year, I just kept researching and changing my life even more, and I'm starting to see my cycles regulate for the first time in my life. And it is definitely trial and error. It is very, very, like, it takes a lot of patience when you're dealing with hormones. There's nothing that will fix it like overnight. It definitely takes time. If you wanted to know how I got pregnant naturally with PCOS, go ahead and comment down below, and I would love to make another video. Appreciate you listening and being here with me, and I will talk to you guys soon.